We moved there because we like nature, we wanted to be in the country, away from a lot of this, as well as some other issues. I hate to bring this up, I'm going to. You know, we don't like to try to be here and say, hey, well, you know, this is your property, you know, you can do what you want to do with it, I get that. But there's already been some encroachment issues where they had cut and cleared trees that was not on their property, that was on adjoining properties.
Was it on your property?
Yes, yes,
And mine,
and his.
and his.
And a neighbor that is not here. They also tried to run a utility line on our property, which meant the easement would be on ours. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm really not sure about this. Does Loudon County do they state that you have to have 10 feet clearance from the property line for utilities? I'm not sure about that. But I know that it was on our property line as close as they could get. The only reason it wasn't further, I feel like, is because we have a fence up, but they were right on the other neighbors. And that's just part of our concerns. I think we have other concerns here as well.
Do I have to stand up?
Come on. But I'm sorry, I don't know if I introduced myself. Kenny and Shelley Cox.
I don't even know these people, first time I've ever met them. But the reason I brought my property back there was because of the restrictions, one house. I lived in town for years and I wanted to retire. Nothing wrong with town, but I wanted to be out in the country. We do, as she said, farming. I realized that A1 is zone 5 acres, 2 houses. I mean, 1 house, 5 acres a house. I'm not happy about that, but I can live with that better than I could 2 houses back there against mine. And if I'm wrong, forgive me if I'm wrong, I went up there the other day, which I've only been up there one time, and it
Well,
looks
you
like,
can see it from your property.
well, no, where they're building their 2 houses, looks like it's just, I can see my roof right across there, so that means 2 houses on top of me. Which I understand that doesn't carry any weight, but again, we all bought the property with the understanding 1 house per lot. Per tract. They built to the front, my neighbors built to the front, and I went to the back. I'm antisocial. No, I'm kidding, but thank you so much.
Earl, do you have something to say?
My name is Raul Riesmar. I am one with my wife Deborah Berkowitz. The 3 of us own 3 tracts that are directly in contact with, do you have, oh yes you do. May I?
Yes.
So this is the tract we are talking about. This is Shelley's, Sharon's, and this is mine, including this area here. Now, we moved into this area because this is an A1 area dedicated to preserve the land for agriculture and forestry. And we came here in search of a way of life, or escaping also from a way of life. And we purchased first this property, and I'm sorry, now I'm lost. This one here, and this is 30-some acres, 26 of which we put under the umbrella of the Greenbelt Act as soon as we purchased it 5 years ago. And then we had the opportunity to purchase this area as well, which we did only last January. And again, we purchased it at great risk because we didn't, mostly because we wanted to preserve it in the spirit of what we understand is the nature of A1 land. And because we thought that even if this area was sold, that we wouldn't be fenced again with a number of houses. Now, my question is, where is this going to stop? because the people that bought this tract here seem to be taking for granted that they are going to be allowed to do what they're planning to do, to build 3 houses where only 1 residence is allowed. The power line that they've already laid out is a high voltage line. So it's not designed to feed just the 1 residence, but more than 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we set this precedent, where does it stop? Maybe, what if they sell the land next to mine and that's subdivided and they ask to build not 3 houses, but condos, 10, 15, 20. What happened to the purpose of having an agriculturally protected area at all? Where will it stop? Who is going to protect our interests?
That's a good question, and I wish I had an answer for you, but that's a $64,000 question. Where is this gonna stop? We are the 2nd fastest growing county in the state of Tennessee.
Well, cheers to that.
I'm not bragging about that because I'm proud of it.
Right, it's
And
just the way
we're
it
not
is.
trying to stop growth. Everybody around there's been 7 or 8 new houses back in that area, and it has been 1 house per tract or per area. We're having new houses built in that area about every year. And we're definitely nothing against these people, and we are not trying to stop growth. We're just trying to preserve what we already have. I'll sit down and hush, thank you.
No, growth by itself, in my estimation, does not have great merit. But if we do want growth because we want to increase revenues in our county, how do we screen those that come in? What kind of people do we want to live with? And if we want growth, why don't we just build high-rises near the towns and allow our lands to survive? Which is part of a way of living that I didn't have the pleasure of enjoying.
That is a good question, but that is not the question that we are addressing here tonight.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
So please,
What
don't
is
allow
the
them to
exact
build
question?
more
We
houses.
looked about the result.
Jim, what is the
Rezone.
nearest
Yeah.
R2, where, I mean,
Acres, yeah.
what is the nearest A2 to this? Is it relatively close?
Commissioner, I'm not sure what the nearest A2 is. We didn't provide a map of surrounding zoning.
It's still 4-acre lot. It's 3 4-acre lot.
If I were to guess, I would say there's probably not a lot of A2 in that.
This is 4 acres.
It was probably primarily.
12 acre lot. Three lots over 12 acres. I appreciate the, the concern of overcrowding. I appreciate the concern of making it, of taking away from agriculture. But I guess, we're going from essentially 12 acres to 3 lots that are all over 4 acres. Is that correct, Jim?
Yes, sir.
So, which is just shy of a 5-acre minimum. So it's not,
Yes.
I mean, this isn't, I like being in the middle of a big property too. I like having no neighbors. I moved across the street and I was really happy to have more room.
I'm not against 2 houses on 5 acres. I'm against 3 houses on less than 15 acres. I wanna make myself clear. I'm very sorry for interrupting you. If they wanna put 2 houses back there, that's what the A1 says. I don't, and again, I'm just a person. I don't want my area rezoned, because every time you rezone it, it gives a chance for somebody else to come in and rezone it. Once you take away the farmland, then how are we gonna feed our people. Once you take away our agriculture, how are we gonna keep air? Because trees give air. I personally do not know these people. First time I met them. I am totally asking you, please not rezone, leave it A1. Let them put 2 houses on there. I have no problem with that.
So,
Okay, I'm gonna
Can I
sit down
ask
to
you a
that, I
question?
promise.
By all means.
sorry. So if you do allow this, and again, I'm not here, I really don't wanna argue, and I'm the type, I hate to make people bad, I just wanted my opinion heard. But if you do approve this, and we do get to the point down there where, our wells start running dry, who's gonna be responsible to replace that well?
And the
We are.
septic tanks.
We're gonna be responsible. When everything gets full because of all the septic tanks in the area, at what point, does that start polluting our drinking water that we drink from the springs? At what point does that start harming our animals? So that was just my question. Thank you.
Jim, forgive me for not knowing the answer to this. What is the minimum lot size on the A2?
2.5 acres.
Okay, so there's no way that these could be subdivided again?
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, not without rezoning.
Right, not without going to an A3.
That is
Right.
correct.
And then what's gonna stop them from rezoning?
Again,
And again,
I'm just making sure there wasn't an opportunity for something to happen without the approval of this board.
Right, and I appreciate that.
I
do
really
appreciate that.
understand.
So it's 3 brothers that's gonna split this property? Y'all, what are y'all, what's your future plans for the property?
That's it.
I'm Steve, I'm the dad, and that's my oldest son. And as far as her saying that we cut trees off the neighbor's property, he gave us consent to do that.
After you
He
cut the
came up
tree,
there and told us, no, let me speak.
We ain't getting into this.
The
We ain't
property
getting
was-
into this. We
the
ain't
property
getting into
was
this.
for sale.
We ain't- I don't hear it. We ain't getting into it.
Anybody can
We're
say-
not getting into it.
Okay.
I
Well,
make
we
a
are.
motion that we rezone it.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to rezone. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
we were told it's a waste of our time.
F, rezone request from A1 to A2, applicant Steve Thomas, property owner Tyler Thomas, tax map 045, parcel 013.103. That's what we just did, let's go to G. Rezone request from A2 to R1, applicant property owner Mitchell Hyde, tax map 084, parcel 059.00. Located McGee Road, A2 Rural Residential District, District 3. Mr. Hyde, I presume.
Yeah, I'm Mitchell Hyde. Thanks for considering my request. Basically, the property is, one of those R1. I have plans of trying to put approximately 30 lots on there, half-acre lots. I've already spoke to Taz concerning city sewer. I think I understand R1 doesn't require it, but I'm looking to use it. I want to use it. These are half-acre lots, not R2, that we have to adjust, so I'm limited myself to half-acre lots. I've also, Taz says sewer's right down the road, about 1,500 feet, and, which would be my expense to bring it up to the property, which I understand that. And, I've spoke to, it says McGee Road, but the entrance is actually on 411. McGee Road is a side road there, so I would be entering on 411 highway. I spoke to TDOT. TDOT had a more extensive right-of-way from one of the two properties. For 2 properties, you can just go over here, they sign off on it pretty easy. So it's an application I have to fill out with them, but I do understand I'll have to get, TDOT approval, whether it means, whatever they need to make it meet the requirements.
Jim, anything to say on this?
I don't have anything to add. It is on a good highway, good road system. Obviously, whether, he's not required to connect sewer, just to be clear, in the R2. It's gotta have, public water. But if y'all recommend this and it goes through commission, that's when we'll handle that through the, plat approval.
Anybody here in opposition of this?
I make a motion, we approve it. But Chancellor behind you, he's gonna put hogs up there.
Well, I got some close to the property, so that's okay.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay.
I'll abstain.
One abstention, okay?
Thank you.
You are welcome. 4, county commission action on planning commission recommendations,
They followed your all's recommendations.
okay? 5, codes department building activity for June,
Nothing to add.
okay, we've got it attached. Additional comments from the public. Update from the planning department.
Yes, sir, if I might real quick, we need to have a workshop at the August meeting to discuss, our road connections. Currently, we still have a moratorium through the county, this 20-foot inside white line to inside white line. We created the documents, we tried to submit forward. After a review by the county attorney, it doesn't appear that it can be handled in that manner. Pretty complicated as to how it happens, so what we need to do is create a standard, for our road connections, look at that, and update that, information.
So we'll come in 30 minutes prior
What
next
would
month.
you all like?
How long will it take?
I mean, it might take 2 if we just get information out there, or if y'all provide information, depends on what it is. We can start 30 minutes in August, if you'd like, 30 minutes early, and then, spend longer if we need to at another meeting.
That's fine.
We'll send that out.
5 o'clock then, okay.
Yes, sir.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
We got the BZA stuff.
Those poor people, they ought to live in my place and see what's going on.
I can hear him
I
cut
mean, this ain't 1 or 2 houses, this is subdivisions everywhere.
Oh, if you let them, they'd sit there and argue all night.
Plus, carnival down on there. Throw that in. Well, they were shooting
We're
their
gonna go through
fire.
county commission, we're gonna go through county commission, this should be wrapped up.
On the 3rd of July, the 5th of July.
Just fix it, don't stop after 1 night. Dang sure don't stop at 10 o'clock.
See every dog down there on the road.
Yeah, I've been on that.
Well, they're done.
They're still better than good on them. I understand that, but when we go down there, they have.
Philip, he moved into this county to get away from the road. He drove it down to the wrong place. Dollar General store down there.
I'll bet nobody here say that.
Got another meeting.
Need to call the Loudon County Board of Zoning Appeals meeting to order. Roll call.
Brian Bright,
Here?
Jim Brooks,
Here.
John Napier,
Here.
Leon Shields, Mike Waller.
Here.
Everybody that's gonna talk in this meeting, then stand up, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you may give in the causes now pending before this commission be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. Everybody read the minutes?
Motion approved.
Second the motion.
Planned agenda items. Variance request for front side yard setback to construct a garage, applicant property owner John Garland, tax map 0701, Group J, parcel 004.00, located 1141 Highway 95 South, R1 Suburban Residential District, District 3.
How are you doing?
Fine.
So So what I'm gonna do, with the, you can see it with the GIS map there, I just purchased the property about a month ago, and I have a carport, but I am wanting to add a 30 by 30 garage, park truck, mower, boat. You can kinda see where the house is there, kinda where I drew it up. So kinda like that. I feel like most of the houses down through there on 95 are roughly 35 feet approximately for the setback of the right of way, so I want to be well within the right of way of it. Really, that's about it, just a metal garage.
Jim?
It's located in the city of Greenback. The ordinance requires these accessory buildings to sit in the rear yard. If you notice from the other aerial pictures, he doesn't really have a rear yard on
Right.
this, so he's got some land issues with this that's restricting him. And a fairly large tract, it's not a small city tract.
Anybody else?
No, I don't have any questions. Anybody? in
It's one of
opposition?
them front yard, side yard deals.
It is, yes, sir.
Anybody make a motion?
Is the garage going here in that triangle?
Yeah, it's going back.
Right there.
Yeah, I'll make a move to approve that.
Second.
So it's not a setback issue, it's
It's a location on the
Location,
lot
yeah.
issue.
but it reads a setback variance. So yeah, I'll
Yes.
second the motion to approve.
More discussion? All in favor say aye.
Nah.
Opposed likewise.
Thank you. Thank you.
Variance request for 25-foot road frontage to create a new 1 acre parcel. Applicant Justin Black, a property owner Mark Clough, tax map 036F, Group B, parcel 002.00, located 706 Gilbert Lane, A3, Developing Agriculture District, District 3.
I'm Bob Brown. I live at 730 Gilbert Lane, and I'm representing Mark Clock and Justin Black. What we're wanting to do, I live at 730. It's the exact same way as we're wanting to do it. We're wanting to do 25 feet driveway all the way to where it opens up to the acre for the property, for the house. So it's just flip-flop what my 730 is. We're wanting to do the same thing with the 706, 25 feet up until it opens to the acre.
Jim?
This property was rezoned, during our meeting, county commission didn't put a caveat on it. During our meeting, it was discussed, as long as it could be subdivided, then the recommendation was to rezone. Shouldn't really be doing things like this to create a variance, granting a variance to create a lot. There's accessory buildings on the property. I'm not so sure that they couldn't locate their 50-foot in a different location and make a legal lot, rather than create a grant a variance.
That's what I was gonna ask, is there?
Well, there's septic over on the left side of 706. There's septic and water line and everything that runs up from the left side of the property. And a very steep hill that's gonna have to be cut down to be able to even put a driveway in.
What's preventing the 25 you show there from being 50?
Cause it's gonna go too close to the garage on 706.
I believe, there was a detached garage that put the new 50-foot property line right, near the edge of the,
It's right
garage.
at
I don't know what type of garage it is. That garage only has to be 5 feet off the property lines. There could be some removal of structure in order to subdivide the land to
It's a
create.
brick and block garage.
How old's it? How long's it been there?
30 years?
Okay.
20 years or more.
More.
Yeah, cause we've had it for over 20 now. And it's, I mean, all the neighbors are good with it, I mean, everybody's good with it happening. The people, the driveway to the right of the driveway, they're fine with it. The people to the back of it, which that's the same ones for that driveway, all it's gonna be is just a 25-foot wide driveway, like I said, just like mine is on 730. And this is a family friend that is moving here.
How far is the carport from the 25-foot line?
There's not a carport, it's a block and brick.
25 feet.
It's 25 feet. So it's already right on the line then.
So yeah, the 50 foot puts the carport right on the adjacent property line.
Yeah.
Roughly.
How much I would rezone it to create a variance.
Are there any other, Jim, are there any other obstacles? You know, if a 1 acre lot was created, you know, as far as other encroachments?
You know, one of the things I discussed is if you look at the property on the opposite side, we're not controlling access. You know, it was to go on the other side of the property to where this building here is shown on the left-hand side of the property and see if we could do our 50 feet up that and cause it to be a compliant subdivision plat. I don't know how far off that existing building would be at that point. There's a dimension on there, I can't read it.
That's what I.
25.4. I don't know what the condition of that building is either. It doesn't help a whole lot, you know, probably. Sometimes it's a matter of, do you want a lot to remove a building that's out there? It may not be that big a deal. I don't know enough about the buildings. You could, then it boils down to, I mean, I don't see any other good options unless we have a building removed or don't grant the variance, and then it's a matter of whether they prefer to have a lot or a building.
The building's not a big deal, but there's gonna be a major water issue, as steep as it is, if we cut a driveway into that side.
My
I mean,
assumption, yeah, and I guess, thinking out loud, I assume y'all weren't creating a new driveway anyhow. I assume you was
No,
gonna use the
we're gonna-
driveway there and gonna extend,
Yep, gonna widen the driveway.
which can be done through ingress agreements, so they wouldn't necessarily have to create a new driveway to access the lot. With an easement, they can use the existing driveway, but go on the other side of the property and create a legal lot.
And just not ever use that side.
Just never use that driveway or that flag lot, whatever, but, other than that, I don't know of any other options for them.
All I was doing was planning on widening it. Like I was saying, like my 730 is, my neighbor in front of me has his driveway and we butt up against each other, we both have a driveway. He has a concrete driveway, I have a concrete driveway, his goes up as high as his house does. Mine goes all the way to the top of the hill where my driveway is. That's pretty much what we wanted to do on that side there.
With what Jim said, you can do that. You're just creating a lot on the left-hand side. You're never gonna use it unless you get in a dispute and this other happens to go away, then you would have to use it. But what Jim says will work, and then it's a legal lot. You don't require variance.
So I don't understand what he's saying to do. I don't understand what you're saying.
What we were discussing was where you're, for lack of better words, creating this flag lot on the right-hand side, move the flag lot to the other side. You might have to remove a building, but you'd have 50 feet going to your lot, but then that property owner owns the whole property. He can grant ingress, egress easements, utility easements to do all his access up the current driveway as is,
So,
which wouldn't require the variance.
and then who would own that property is what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, the property would be flagged opposite of what it is now, and lot number 1 would own that flag, but the access easement would be owned by lot number 2. He would just be granting lot number 1 access to use his current driveway and run utilities to that rear lot.
Would be easement where your driveway is now, and the lot would be on the opposite side.
Yes.
So the legal driveway would be on the left side, but the driveway would be on the right, is that what you're trying to say?
They'd both be legal.
The lot would abut the county road by 50 feet, which is a requirement on the left-hand side, but you would be accessing on the right-hand side at the current drive. But you may have to remove the one shed in order to get your 50 feet up through there.
But you wouldn't actually put the driveway in there.
No.
Correct.
It'd just be on paper saying that
Right.
it was there, but you're still gonna use the same one and still gonna widen it.
Yes.
Okay, now, I wouldn't assume that was a way to do it, but, I mean, I don't really care if it does that way, as long as there's a way to do it.
Right.
I don't wanna cut that hill away, I mean, I don't wanna cut that hill and cause all kind of water issues coming down onto Gilbert Lane and.
I get flooded enough by your yard.
Yeah, and again, I don't know what the property owner, what the building condition is, or if they wanna do that. I think the board today will just decide whether they wanna grant a variance and or not.
Well, the building's in good shape, I mean, it's just a hay building, that's all I've ever used it for, so, I mean, it's just a pole barn.
Yeah, it'd have to be removed to create the lot line, so.
Oh, so it would actually have to be removed, or it could just be
If
said that,
if you can't get the 50 feet up through there and a 5-foot side yard setback, it would have to be removed to create the new lot. It's only 45.9, so yeah, you'd have some, moving of a building if you were to do that.
I'd rather not do that, but whatever I gotta do.
Yeah, well, I'd make a motion that we deny the variance.
You what?
I'd make a motion that we deny the variance and you do it the other way.
Yeah, do it the other way. I'd second.
You got,
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
no, that's what you can do.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed likewise. Ah, special exception request for cluster development option, applicant property owner Turner Homes, tax map 044, parcel 061.28, 061.29, and 061.30, located Friendsville Road, R2, multifamily residential district, District 3. Anybody here from Turner Homes?
Just asking for exactly what you just read, to the cluster. We've gone through for R2 and we need to come back to make it the cluster.
Oh, crap.
It's more administrative paper review at this point. It was all approved for this development.
Any more comments on it?
And one of my comments is that I'm not a fan of hammerhead turnaround.
There is no hammerhead.
Which, on my
Yeah,
paper,
we have to come back next month. They wouldn't let us put them two together. We have a
Cul-de-sac.
cul-de-sac.
Okay.
We won't be connecting
That
them.
was my only issue.
Anybody else? I got a motion.
I motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Variance request to conduct auto repair in A2 zone, applicant property owner Brian Thompson, tax map 080, parcel 014.06, located 5771 Highway 95 South, or A2 Rural Residential District, District 3.
I am Brian Thompson. Pretty much how I said it, I purchased this land probably about a year ago. I went over it with Jim. I was a little misled by a realtor. Story of my life, it seems like. Unrestricted land doesn't mean nothing when the realtor tells you that. I learned out the hard way. Trying to make a part-time automotive business. If you look right there at that white building, at the front side of my business. He is zoned industrial, and they were running a Woodward Performance Shop, automotive repair shop out of that. So I thought I would have a little bit of leeway, but I thought wrong. I've actually have a meeting with you all next month about a zoning request at another piece of property. I've actually listed this property for sale because of a pretty good deny rate of automotive on A2 land, or A1 land. I run a little shop in Maryville now. I'm super busy, and I'm trying to just become more successful and bring in more revenue for anyone. But me and Jim's talked about this situation, about what's going on, and he pretty much told me the rules and regulations and everything, and realtors are here to sell you land. They wanna tell you what you wanna hear, and that was a big mistake for me. Should have done a little more research. I'm a little young. I'm 35 years old. I'm just trying to do this legally. That's why I'm up here with you all. I want to be able to run a shop eventually full time as a one-man show, just me. I'm doing it with just myself now, and I'm doing about 25 to 30 cars and working full time. So it's getting to a point where it's killing me. And it's like I've got to be able to do my dream and walk away from my job. And this is where we bought this property. And Bridgetta actually got a variance. She's behind me at that parcel. She was 100% for it. I don't know why it still says Violet Daly, that was the owner, but Bridgetta bought that one. She got a variance for to build a garage first, I think last month. And the one all the way on the right is Rebecca. That's plot F, she was good for it. And then the 5 acre in between the little sliver is, gosh, I can't ever remember her name. That's the one I went in with electric with. She was good for it, but that doesn't mean nothing. I'm here for this meeting, I was trying to build an automotive shop and have a house on the same property because I had 5 acres. When I seen Woodward Performance right there running into that business, I talked to him a little bit about it, and I think he got nervous and may have said something or something like that. I was like, dude, there's nothing to get nervous for. I'm doing this the legal way possible. I would never try to stand something up and then get shut down later. That's absolutely ridiculous.
You said you're looking for another piece of property.
There's actually a piece of property, if you look up 650, 95 South right now, I have put in an application today for rezone. It's 3 minutes from that property. It is half commercial and half residential. The commercial side is C2. What me and Jim has discussed, I have needed. I want to rezone that whole thing C2. I got a contingent offer to sell that land, to purchase theirs at asking price if it appraises, as long as it'll zone C2 fully, appraise, and pass septic perk test. So that land is actually up for sale for now, but I come up to the meeting to just...
Well, do you wanna pull yours from the table then?
Well, that's y'all's call. I mean, from what I talked to Jim, it pretty much said it was a deny rate because of the restrictions on agriculture. He said you're slim to none odds, so I turned it in anyway, because at this point in time, I was not trying to buy that other piece of property. Well, they dropped that property $12,000.
Is it in Greenback?
It's 3 minutes from there. It's on 95 South. If you look up 650, I can probably pin it. If you just get closer to the hand, I can show you exactly where it's at. It's 2 parcels split right there, 6 and 5. I wanted to make that fully commercial and get that approved before I've got an in contract and my contingency offer.
Is that at Gorley's?
Well, the gas station.
It used to be an old gas station, the tanks were removed.
At Gorley's.
On the left, and then right after that, there's I think that's a good old Murphy's Bobcat. Or excavating, just a little bit after it, in the bank, but that was a gas station. That was C2, I guess, on the left, and I guess the right side is still residential. I've got in a contingency offer with my realtor. If I can get approval to fully zone that commercial and sell my land, I'll buy that at their asking price.
How much land's there?
3/4 of an acre, .076, I think.
That's both parcels?
Both parcels.
Yeah.
One is, I think, is like .32, and the remainder is the other. I think her name's Natalie Goins that owns it.
You surely don't wanna build a garage and then turn around and not use it and move down the road, do you?
No, that's, me and my wife has discussed this. I'm thinking 25 years down the road, if I'm working for an automotive shop that I own, I don't really wanna be on the same piece of property in my house and try to sell it. Because now you're just selling a garage. That guy does not care if that's a legal, successful automotive business. And I'm just trying to get to the point where I can go full-time. And this is probably a better option, because if I decide to retire, say in 30 years, I can sell this piece of property that my shop is on to someone that wants to run an automotive business later, instead of having my house and shop on the same piece of property, and he pretty much just have to sell it as a garage. Nobody cares that there's a running business on the same piece of property.
Well, as far as item D, auto repair is not an allowable exception.
It is
So-
not, no, sir.
So I'd make a move that we deny D.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed likewise.
Thank y'all. I'll see y'all on the 12th.
Best of luck to you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Anybody else got anything? Jim, you got
Oh, I'm
anything?
sorry, no, sir, nothing else.
Got a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor say aye. What's your chair for, Tommy? What's your chair for? What's your chair for?
Brett? Well, we didn't know.
They asked